The following broadcast may contain explicit language and adult themes. Viewer discretion is advised. The opinions expressed in this broadcast are those of the hosts, talent, and guests, and do not reflect the opinions, views, and standards of Pyromedia Enterprises, affiliates, subsidiaries, or its members.
Welcome everybody to the Daryl Walter Show. What's going on, everybody? I am your host, Daryl Walter, and welcome to the Daryl Walter Show. Hopefully everybody is having a good week out there. Happy Mother's Day to all of my beautiful mothers out there. Did everybody have a good weekend overall? I'm waiting for you. I can hear y'all saying yes. All the mothers went to dinner. All your kids were good to you. What y'all do for your mom? Tap in the comments. Tell me what you did. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Listen, first I want to do this. Say Happy Mother's Day to everybody. And Kwame, I believe I added a picture. Can we post a picture of my mom and I? Yep. I did. That is my beautiful mother, Desdemona Walter. She transitioned 2014. And I wanted to bring her up, one, because I wanted to honor her. Because of her, y'all get to enjoy me, number one. And, I know that out there, there's a lot of people who struggle with Mother's Day. And not just because, oh, you can't hear me? Uh-oh. Somebody said they can't hear me. Kwame, can I be heard? Can y'all hear me out there? What's going on? Can y'all hear me? Okay, let me keep going. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. I have to do a pause. Loud and clear. Thank you. All right, let me keep going. So I brought up my mom, Desdemona, one, because she raised me, an amazing woman, but I brought her up because I thought about all the people who struggle with Mother's Day. And not just because your mom's here, your mom's not here, but also because either you have a strained relationship, maybe your mom wasn't the greatest mom, or maybe you weren't the greatest child to your mom. I'll talk about my mother and I. We had a great relationship, but it was unique, and it was different. And we definitely had our ups and downs like any other, mother and child. Hey, everybody. Hey, Michelle. We had a lot of arguments. We went without speaking. I know me being gay was something difficult for her to accept. She eventually accepted it, but it made me think about so many people out there. Listen, I know a lot of people out there. You have wonderful mothers, and I enjoyed seeing them. You have wonderful parents, but also I know there are people out there, who have, just different relationships with their parents. And you can take that picture down of my mom. I also brought it up because I've never shared this anywhere in life until now. So y'all are getting an exclusive. But when my mom passed, her last phrase to me, this was before she passed. So she was in the hospital, and the last time I saw her, her last words were, "Daryl, stop drinking so much." Daryl, stop drinking so much. So I went out there for Christmas and, just drinking. Drinking. Something I didn't talk about. And I bring that up because dun, 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 I am celebrating 50 plus days with no alcohol. Oh, thank you. You got the picture up there. I appreciate that. 50 days with no alcohol. And a lot of people are like, how did you start? What made you stop drinking? What made you, cut out alcohol? And I wanted to start sharing my story. One, because let me say this: you're as sick as your secrets. You're as sick as your darkest secrets. You're as sick as your shame, the things that you're holding on to, right? So for me, I'll be honest, drinking was one of those things that, um, don't get me wrong, I've been the life of the party. I've also been the ass of the party and, blackouts, all kinds of stuff. Um, but it was something that I was so ashamed of and embarrassed about. Even though I drank, I never really talked about the past and the things that I've gone through with drinking. And I'll be honest with you, somebody on my TikTok asked me, what do I do when I'm triggered? How do I handle my triggers? And listen, I'll be honest. I have started and stopped and started and stopped and started and stopped many a times. I've been to AAs, I've called people, I've done the Alcoholics Anonymous. I've done a lot of things quietly, and it was like if I were to liken it to the thorn in my side, as Paul describes in the Bible. And so what made me start this time was I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go 30 days. If I can't go 30 days, then we'll take alternative actions. And so I did the 30. Actually, I failed. I did 6 days, then I did 10, and I failed again. And I had some conversations with my therapist that I'll share later. And I did 30 days, and 30 days turned into 40 days, and 40 days turned into 50 days. And so I bring that up just to say, as an example, one, you can do it out there. And it doesn't have to be alcohol. It doesn't have to be, drugs. For some of you out there, it's food. For some of you out there, it's cleaning. For some of you out there, it's church. Oh, I'm gonna leave that alone. Was drinking a form of self-medication? Absolutely. I'm somebody who has survived some sexual abuse, some, emotional and verbal abuse, estranged from family members, and some other things. And then mom passed, dad passed. So there was a lot of self-medicating. And also what I found is that, I just didn't want to face life. I didn't want to face the issues. It was easier to have a drink, self-medicate and not worry about what was going on. Some people dip snuff. What I realized is that addiction is not necessarily addiction, but it is a way for people to cope, right, with things that they're going through in life. So I'm celebrating. I will keep you posted on the journey. Also, I will share stories with you of my drinking past. One, because I'm just glad the weight is lifted. For a lot of people out there, listen, there's a lot of people out there who are undercover drinkers, undercover smokers, undercover eaters, undercover, sexing. You know who you are. And they're hiding it, right? They're hiding it. They're ashamed of it. And the more ashamed of it, it's like it's eating them up inside. So I'm here to just free some people, to help some people overcome, to help some people open up and say, you don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to feel alone. You don't have to feel bad about what you're going through. Listen. And I'm gonna tell stories, but baby, when I tell you, there were times I was a fun drunk, but there were other times when people got stories, and I don't need you to tell them, but I'll tell some down the road, and put up Michelle's comment. Um, uh, More on church as a way to self-medicate. Speak more on church as a way to self-medicate because it gets lost in the sauce because it is church. Let me say this. A lot of people think because I'm doing a positive thing, right, that it's a good thing. But I will say this. Too much of anything is not good. Too much of anything is not good. I don't care if it's church. I don't care if it's sex. I don't care if it's working out. I don't care if it's eating. Everything is in moderation, even with church. And what happens with church in particular, okay, since you brought it up, what happens with church in particular is that not only do people self medicate, but it also feeds the ego. So you have those who are addicted to the limelight, who are addicted to attention, who become the deacon, who become the soloist, who become the usher, who become the star in the church, right? And so their addiction is being fed because the real addiction is attention. The real addiction is ego. Trying to help somebody. Pride. One of my followers said pride. So let me tie it all in together before we go into what went viral. We just finished Mother's Day and we're going into Father's Day. And it's on my heart because I know for myself, I love both of my parents, but I would be lying if I would say that our relationship was perfect and if it wasn't colored with a lot of different tapestries from life. I hope I said that, life. And so as we go into these seasons, it gives people a reason to drink. We'll use drinking for the example, but it gives people a reason to self-medicate, whatever that is. And I want people to realize, and I want people to know, see the signs, see the triggers. Someone asked me, what do I do when my triggers come up? What do I do when I feel the urge to drink and I don't want to drink? Well, first of all, I'm past that. Let me just say, I am a professional. And when I say professional, I love y'all out there. But if you drinking Taka vodka, we are not the same. Okay? I'm just saying that. I Louis 13, Dom Perignon, Grey Goose, and so I've had my share of drinking. So at this point, there's nothing that I haven't drank that's gonna just entice me. But also, when I want to self-medicate, I have people in place and I have tools and I have things in place. For me, it's the gym. For me, it's working out. So when I feel like, perfect example, the other day after Mother's Day, I had a long day. I went to work out because it was a long day. I wanted to fight somebody. I'm not gonna lie. I love you mothers out there, but listen. Side note, you mothers out there, you need to talk to your mother friends because some of y'all was rude this year. That's just on Mary Had a Little Lamb. But I have things in place. Also, I have people in place. I have people that I can call. Get you a couple of friends. I'm not talking about your neighbor. I'm not talking about your coworker. I'm not talking about, the person that you see at the gym every Monday. I'm talking about a close friend that you can be your authentic, ugly, beautiful self in front of. You want that person that you can call on and say, hey, listen, I'm having a moment. Can you just stay on the phone with me until it passes? Because it will pass. I don't know who needs to hear that, but it will pass. Shh. So welcome to the Daryl Walters Show. Let's move on. Let's get into what went viral. Because y'all, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about with everything that's going on. First of all, let's talk about Jordan Neely. This Jordan Neely and I wasn't even going to talk about the Jordan Neely thing. Like my TikTok people, y'all know I really haven't said too much about it because in my opinion, there was a man on the train. The guy killed him. You should go to jail for murder, right? Wrong. Let's play the video clip.
Breaking news that we are following out of New York. Going to pull up this tweet here from Marta Donis, who is a Fox New York bureau producer. She says, breaking, Daniel Penny to be charged in subway chokehold death and will surrender to the NYPD tomorrow at 8 a.m. Sources tell me, don't know the type of charges at this time. She then goes on to say he's been charged by the Manhattan DA and not a grand jury, as another source tells me that the case has definitely not been presented to a grand jury. So this news just in now. If you are unfamiliar with this story, well, the New York City subway rider who's accused of choking a homeless man to death was identified this week as 24-year-old U.S. Marine veteran and college student His name is Daniel Penny. He was identified by witnesses and police as the man who held 30-year-old Jordan Neely in a fatal chokehold following what police say was an altercation on Monday on a subway. Penny joined the Marines in 2017. As we learn a little more background about him, according to his LinkedIn profile, and is currently a college student.
You know, because let me just say, first of all, I am so sick and tired of the news media, you know, describing the palm-colored suspect as educated, Marine, you know, rich. Do y'all know? Let me say this. It bothers me too, Michelle. That bothers me. And I don't know how someone can just decide on a person's fate. Here's the interesting part about it, because I wasn't familiar with the case. Jordan Neely was on the train. According to passengers, he frequents the train. People know him, okay? This particular instance, I'll say allegedly, he was threatening people. He said he didn't care if he went to jail. He was ready to go to jail for life. In my humble opinion, I still don't think that gives a person the right to decide to take their life, okay? This man, this murderer, okay, he's a murderer, decided to take it upon himself to take another life. And to me, we know if the shoes were on the other foot, let's be honest, if the shoes were on the other foot, they would find a way to describe the black suspect as a thug. They would dig into his past and find anything negative to paint him as less than. Do y'all know that they've raised $2.5 million for this man already? $2.5 million. And some of the comments read, "I wish I would have someone like you on the subway to protect me." I'm just going to go off script. The world is crazy. I just come to the conclusion that people are crazy. I never thought in a million years we would get to a point where we are celebrating someone who had no right to take it into their hands to take another person's life. I don't even know how it's right. But right now, we have to look into the money for Brother Neely, but I haven't heard too much about it. But there's a lot. And here's the thing. This is another thing that's dividing America yet again. Somehow, media has found a way to play a race into this instead of this being about humanity. We are living in a world where we are lacking humanity and we are lacking passion. Because let me tell you something. I don't know what made y'all think that Jerry Springer video was real. But that's another thing. I will follow up on this. He posted bond. He is out. There is a hearing down the road. So we're going to follow up in this and see how this pans out. But y'all, I'm going to be honest. I have a feeling he's going to be free. Why would a black man hold Brother Neely? Well, Brother Neely was the black man, right? So I don't know if I'm misunderstanding the question, but it just seems like the media is trying to play race into this. I don't know. Y'all tap into the comments. Let me know what you think. Do you think he was going, do you think he's going to be guilty or not guilty? And yes, Jerry Springer likes the sisters. But do we really think Jerry Springer was the type of man to have some illegitimate children? Come on, y'all. All right, we got to get through this. Another one. I'm not even into sports like that, but I took the time to research this one a little bit. Ja Morant. Let's talk about this young brother, because at this point, Ja Morant, 23-year-old, playing for the Memphis Grizzlies, okay? Now, this guy, there was another person holding him when he killed him. Right. Okay, let's move on to Ja Morant. I hope I'm saying his name right. Now, this young man is 23, plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. Okay. This recently, he was in a car with his friend, and the friend was videotaping him on Instagram, and he flashed the gun. And so now this young man is set to be suspended. I want to say that this suspension is under review. He's going to be, or they're considering suspending him for 8 games. Now, at the surface level, we go, well, what's the problem? What's the issue? He just flashed the gun. I don't see what the problem is. Totally agree with you. I was thinking the same thing. But let's get into it. The NBA has a strict anti-gun policy. I'm going to say it again. The NBA has a strict anti-gun policy. If you own the gun, you are to notify them. And you are not to have the gun on you as your person. They make enough money, they can have security guards and all kinds of people around them to have it. But NBA has a strict no gun policy. Okay? Let's start right there. Just shelve that. Y'all remember that. Keep that in mind. Okay? Now let's talk about this young brother. In this past season, he has, let me make sure I got my notes here. Okay. He has punched a teenager. He has threatened security guards. Lost to a team, so his friend showed up and pointed the gun with the little red light at the bus. Yes. Apparently his daddy's crazy too. So he has a history. He has a history of just doing dumb shit. Okay, that's how I see it. But here's the interesting thing. He's not from the hood, y'all. He's not from the hood. He is from the suburbs. 2-parent household. Intelligent. Let's just play the clip because I have a lot to say about this. Let's play the first clip.
Ja Morant just released a statement after being suspended from the Grizzlies once again for flashing a gun on IG Live for the second time in 2 months. And here's what Ja had to say. I know I've disappointed a lot of people who have supported me. This is a journey, and I recognize there's more work to do. My words may not mean much right now, but I take full accountability for my actions. I'm committed to continuing to work on myself.
I'm just going to say this, y'all. I'm just going to say this with love. Put me back on the screen, Kwame. I don't know this brother, but I'm just going to call bullshit. Okay, that apology was nothing more than a bunch of well-thought words put onto paper. And I really question if he even wrote that statement. I have a cousin. Well, anyway, that's negotiable, but I have a cousin. We grew up together in the suburbs of Southern California, Rancho Cucamonga to be exact. Both single-parent households, but for what it is, we did all right. This cousin decided to rob a liquor store with a gun. And because of those choices, without a criminal history, without ever breaking the law, he served 6.5 years in jail. Go ask this question if y'all want to fight me, because I know how you girls like to tussle. Do it in the comments. I'm not afraid of y'all, but I'm just going to say it. Why is it that Black men are willing to spend 25 years in jail but don't want to spend 4 years in college? I'm just trying to figure this out. Why is it that Black men would rather go to jail than go to college? Okay, let me shut up. The bigger problem is because some people are like, well, it's the gun. Well, what's the big deal? He's 23. He's young. He doesn't know any better. Here is the thing, people. Where are his mentors? Where is the team around this brother to really guide him? Or are we allowing this entertainment world, this hip hop world, to influence our young kings? The hell? Because the issue really is not the gun. The issue is not all of these past events, although they're terrible and they should be dealt with. But the true issue is, why is it that you would rather be a thug throwing up gang signs? You even come from that. Instead of being a proud black man. Instead of doing things for your community with all that money that you are making. Yet somehow, and it's not just him, it's many others out there, and it's not just black men, but I got to talk to y'all. You'd rather go to the morgue and lay 6 feet under than go to a class, go to a trade school. And you know what I hear a lot of people say? They don't want to work. They don't want to work for the man. But if you go to jail, you're working for the man. The projects in the hood is an extension of the Jim Crow string and has nothing to do with sun-kissed skin. I almost want to agree with that. I almost want to agree, and you're absolutely right. But in this case, you know, my mom used to say, to whom much is given, much is required. You know, and so for this young man, see, he has friends around him who have nothing to lose. He has people around him who will never see the amount of money that he's making, who will never have the access. So who will never have the access that he has. And what I'm learning is there are some places where you will go in life, and there are some things that you will have in life that just requires a little bit of sacrifice, that requires a little bit of discipline, that just requires, you know, I know you want to go to the club. I know you want to swing your pistol all over like everybody else, but you're not everybody else. And it seems what I'm seeing right now is I'm watching a young man self-destruct subconsciously and unintentionally. Okay, because he's convinced he's going to do something and apologize, and eventually those apologies are going to run out. The MBS is not going to want to have anything to do with him. And the question is, what's next? And your boys and your family are all going to go off and leave you hanging. I know how this goes. I've seen it before. But let me ask y'all, what do we do? Because I don't think suspension is the answer. Baby, he's going to be in the unemployment line because it don't sound like he can rap. But what do we do? And in particular, listen, I'm not meaning to bring race into it. And this is multicultural in regards to, it's not just black men. But we know young black men. See, if it's somebody else, there's other opportunities sometimes. But for young black men, let me move on to another. Let's lighten this up, okay? Because we have so much more to talk about. And we'll come back to this subject because honestly, y'all, I think this is deeper than just, oh, he's young. Oh, let's play the other video. That before we move on, let's play the other video. Y'all watch this, then we'll move on.
Ja Morant just released a statement after being suspended from the Grizzlies once again for flashing a gun on IG Live.
A gang leader called out Ja Morant, and now it's looking like scary hours.
That's going to cost you. What the hell is wrong with him?
The fascination he has with guns.
That's just who he is. He's thrown up the Crip sign.
There's a bigger problem here.
After Ja vowed to leave the concerning behavior in the past,
it's not who I am. Take, full responsibility, for my actions.
He recently relapsed after being caught with a gun in 4K again. While the Grizzlies suspended Ja again, he potentially faces severe and deadly consequences for acting like a gang member without having any real affiliation. How did Ja Morant get on a gang leader's bad side? Watch until the end for the full story. Just months ago, Ja was owning up to his mistakes and putting them behind him. 2 months later, he's back on IG Live, flashing a gun and making this narrative as strong as ever. It's extremely odd that Ja would put himself in the same exact position that got him in trouble with the NBA in the first place. What's the upside in making this poor decision twice in just months? A decision that might just ruin his life. Is Ja addicted to this gangster lifestyle? Taking a look at Ja's series of unfortunate decision-making dating back to last summer, it appears that's the case. But now the wrong people have taken notice of Ja's behavior, and it's put him in.
Y'all see that? Now, listen, anybody knows, if you go to the hood or anybody that has a gang territory, you don't throw up gang signs. You don't wear the colors of the hood. You know, you want to live. But here's the thing with this young man. He's not sorry. I could be wrong. This is my opinion. He is not sorry, and he is going to do it again. Much like young people, he thinks he is indestructible. He thinks he's going to rise above this and move forward because this culture is glorified, right? But we know, those of us who have family members, those of us who have watched this, nothing good comes from that lifestyle. Y'all tap in the comments. What do you think is going to happen with Ja Morant? I don't see it ending well, but I'm rooting for him. I don't even care about the suspension. I am concerned with his life. I am concerned about his life and about him changing his ways. But I got to be honest, and this is just my personal opinion, he doesn't want to change. He doesn't want to change. All right, let's lighten the mood because I didn't mean to get so heavy. Bring up this heifer. And by heifer, I didn't mean to call her a heifer, but Martha Stewart, 81. Titty sitting. Skin flawless. Hair sitting. No weave. Y'all know Martha Stewart is worth $400 million. She is the oldest woman to grace the cover of Sports Illustrated. I'm just gagging at these pictures. Let me see. Let me show my people. Let me show my TikTok people. Y'all got to see this. Let me see if I can show you. Can y'all see that? Y'all see that? 81. You know, Martha says that part of her secret to being so youthful, she gets facials every week for the past 40 years. And also Martha Stewart's a freak. Daryl, what are you talking about? Why would you call an 81-year-old woman a freak? Listen. Oh, come on. Somebody said the pictures are gross and making them have to use the bathroom. Martha Stewart looks good, even though she's 81. She could get it. Come on now. Anyway, she said she gets facials every week. Yeah, I can tell y'all, and I'm feeling this. And also, I've read Martha Stewart back in the day, because she's 81, so she's been around for a while. Back in the day when they used to have lots of sex and didn't care who they had it with, the 70s, she used to have parties and have everybody put their keys in a bowl. I'm not making this up. And at the end of the night, somebody would pick the key and they would go home with a complete stranger. And she loved it. Martha Stewart, I don't know if I would invite her to the cookout. Listen, she's been to jail. She makes a mean potato salad. I think Martha Stewart should be able to come to the cookout. She looks amazing. She does look amazing, but not as amazing as Janelle Monáe. Let's talk about Janelle Monáe. Janelle Monáe, who is coming out with her 7th studio album, looks amazing. And she released 2 singles. So the album is going to come out June 23rd, right, y'all? And she released 2 singles. One of them is called, let's see here, Float. And the other one is called Lipstick Lover. Now, Kwame, I don't know if I sent the clips in order, but I think I sent the video as the second clip. Let's play a piece of the video to see what everybody is in a uproar about. I don't know. We'll do it with that. Ooh. Janelle Monáe's about. Oh, we can't play this sound because we got to pay for it. It costs, and Janelle's not cheap. But there, let me, Lipstick Lover. Ooh, look at me dragging on the wood floor with all the women because I left lipstick on my neck. Okay, that's enough. Well, baby, the church people were offended. Do you hear me? The church people were offended. Play the video. This girl got on TikTok and she said, why does everybody think Janelle's video is so cute? Why everybody think it's so cute? It's so perverse.
I'm truly interested in knowing why everybody thinks that Janelle Monáe video is cute. It's very disrespectful. It's very perverse. She just lifts up her shirt and starts shaking her breast and exposing herself to the world. Now, if a man had done that, that would be that he's a pervert, that he's an abuser, that all of these negative things. But because it's Janelle Monáe, y'all find it cute, even entertaining.
Yes,
No,
yes, we do.
It was disgusting, disrespectful, and very, very, very vulgar.
I responded, and you can go on my TikTok and see my response. Here's my thing. Why do we feel as people, like Christians or whoever you are, why do we feel the need to take our beliefs and push them out onto the world and generalize them as if that is the all and be all? If you're jealous, sis, just say you're jealous. I'm a little jealous too, and I don't even have breasts. Janelle Monáe looks amazing. And also, can I just add on to this? We have to have the ability to start seeing sex and sexuality as something beautiful, as art, as something God created, and not as something perverse, not as something disgusting. Janelle Monáe is liberated, she is free, and she is an artist at the end of the day. And as an artist, it is her job to present her art to the world, that we may digest it and decide if we like it or not. That's how art works, okay? What do y'all think? Do you think Janelle was doing too much? Do you think it was offensive? I thought it was beautiful, first of all. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was gorgeous. I thought Janelle, first of all, Janelle Monáe makes me question who I want to live with the rest of my life. I just really thought about it. I want lipstick on my neck too. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. But I know a lot of church people like, oh, it's so perverted. Listen, if it's not something you're into, then just don't watch it. But don't down another Black woman. Don't down another human being because you think it's vulgar. What was vulgar about it? See, we'll talk about that. We have another conversation, but I think we have to have a conversation about taking sex from being perverse to being beautiful. All right. Whew. What do y'all think? I love the video, but do you think church people overreact also? That's one. Do you think church people overreact? Why are church people so judgmental? All right. That's what went viral. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a commercial break. Y'all are going to click like. You're going to share this. You're going to grab a snack. And when we come back, we are going to talk about friends with benefits. We're going to talk about friends with benefits and why I personally don't agree with it. I'll see y'all in a few moments, and I'm going to talk to my TikTok friends too.
This episode is sponsored in part by Bullet and Flight Radio. Get ready to uplift your spirit with Bullet and Flight Radio, the world's leading progressive Christian radio station. Experience the vibrant fusion of gospel house music and a rich medley of inspiration from all musical genres that'll make your heart soar. Join their extraordinary lineup of today's trailblazers, visionaries, and voices that matter, all sharing their stories and wisdom. Stay plugged in around the clock as they broadcast unmissable content 24/7. Your go-to station for all things inspiring. Become a pilot today by visiting bulletinflightradio.com. Bullet in Flight Radio. Your story, our station.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Daryl Walter Show. Listen, I did not expect what went viral to go that long, but we had a lot to discuss, and there's just so many conversations here that we got to talk about, and I'm here for all of this, y'all. Okay, welcome back. These last few minutes, we are going to talk about friends with benefits. Listen, my friend sent me this post. Kwame, did I send you that post about get you a friends with benefits? I did. Okay. So this is a real post. So a friend of mine who shall remain nameless, anonymous, he said he is done with relationships. He is older, in his 40s. No, it's not me. But he said he's done with relationships and he's only looking for a friend with benefits. He said, get you a friend with benefits. A friend with benefits, pretty much same, but lower expectations and no stipends and demands. Good for the non-traditionalist types, open and freedom, can be non-exclusive. Okay, bring me back up. Reading this post, I want to hear y'all type in your thoughts. Type in what you think of it as I share my honest commentary and opinion on this. Because he called me, he was laughing, he thought it was just funny, and he was like excited that he had just found this epiphany that he's no longer looking for a relationship and that he was interested in friends with benefits. And in my opinion, in Daryl's opinion, I think it's sad. I think it's sad that you would forego a relationship for a friend with the benefit, not the act of friend with benefits. One, let me ask you this. How many of you out there have had or currently have a friend with benefits? Listen, just type a little thing, just type a heart. You have to put your business out there. I'll be honest. I've had a friend with benefit in the past before too, when I was younger. Not someone that you met, not a hit it and quit it. I'm talking about someone that you have sex with on a regular basis that you are not in a relationship with. That is a friend with benefit. Okay? Friend with benefit is also described as, Kwame, did I send you the definition or I haven't? Friend with benefits is described as, come on, Daryl, be ahead of yourself. A friend with benefits, relationship, with two people are physically intimate with one another, yet they are not committed to each other in any way. People involved with friends with benefits relationship clearly enjoy spending time together, but their relationship isn't romantic and has no strings attached. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all this is my humble opinion. If you are in a friendship with the benefit, one party is into the person more than the other, and the friend with benefit has been set up to save heartache. Friends with benefits, in my opinion, do no good for those who want a relationship. Why do I think it's sad? For Daryl, I'm not talking about casual sex or having sex. That's not the issue. But to have a friend and allow them the benefits of a relationship without the responsibility or the requirement of being in a relationship is counterproductive. And in my opinion, a setup for heartbreak. I said what I said. Are we really wanting a friend with benefit? When we say we want a friend with benefit, are we really saying we want a friend with benefits? Or are we saying that I don't want to get my heart broken? And I hear somebody saying, well, Daryl, what's the difference? What's the difference between a friend with benefits and getting my heart broken? The difference is, one, you haven't healed yet. You haven't healed yet. And so you think by having a friend with benefits to avoid the commitment, to avoid getting hurt, to avoid this relationship for some reason or other is going to make it any better, and it's not. I'm not sure if it's healthy. Not the act of sex, but the emotional involvement that you're lying to yourself about. It's quiet in here, and I know it's really quiet, but I feel like it's quiet on the other side. Either y'all agree, or maybe it's just too much and y'all don't know what to say yet. I just personally think friends with benefits, can you be a friend with a benefit? I think people are lying to themselves. I think a lot of people don't want to take the responsibility of being in a relationship. And here's the thing. You can redefine what your relationship is. You don't have to have a traditional relationship, but you don't have to forego the relationship because you've been hurt. Heal first. Go to therapy first. Start having healthy sexual conversations. Because some of us are in these friends with benefits, and it's not because you want to be in it, but that's because you're willing to accept it. Kwame, am I in the ballpark? Am I off? What'd you think? Because I feel like it got really quiet. I think everybody got a little, they don't want to say anything. Friends with benefits is something to think about and redefine nowadays. I think we have looked at friends with benefits and just said, it's just friends with benefits. It's just sex or whatever. But I'm telling you, people who are in friends with benefit situations, there's one person who is into the other person more. And more than likely, if that person were to ever say, you know what, I want to take this a step further, the other person would be with it. They would be. I think friends with benefits work with if you're going back to your ex and having sex with them before you move on to another relationship because you know them and you know you don't want to be with them. But even that, I think locks you away from your potential future, from your potential mate. And I just think it's something to think about, y'all. For someone else in May, and let me say this. What I really think, Kwame, is that some of us have to rethink if friends with benefits are really working for us, or are we in denial? Are we lying to ourselves? I know me. Friends with benefits won't work for me. If we fucking, we can't be friends. I'm too old to be crossing the line. I know the young gays are different. I know the young Gen Zs, y'all screw and then become friends afterwards. I don't know if that's what it is, but it just seems like y'all have sex and then go have water and play video games. Everybody's an OnlyFans content creator. But I think it's something to think about. I'm gonna get off the subject. We're gonna talk about it more, but I want y'all to really chime in. Are you with friends with benefits or not? Am I defining friends with benefits correctly? How do you define it? Has it worked for you? Has it not worked for you? Do you see it working for you in the future? And let me ask y'all this also as we come to a close. What would you say to my friend or anybody else who has given up on relationships and wants to have a friend with the benefit? To each their own? Live and let live? Or do we want to help some people avoid heartbreak? Save themselves? All right, y'all. I've talked a lot. I've talked enough. We've covered a lot, and I've shared my commentary. I want to thank y'all for tuning into the Daryl Walters Show. I want y'all to know that it is a pleasure, it is a joy every week to come to y'all and talk with you about the various subjects and what went viral, but most importantly, that I'm able to talk with you and that you feel encouraged, that you feel uplifted, and that you leave changed, thinking about life, thinking about something differently, okay? So as I close out, I just want to say, listen, if you have a vision, stay true to it. If you have a plan out there, if you have a goal, stick to it. Don't give up. But most importantly, all jokes aside, stay true to yourself and everything will work out, okay? I'll see y'all next week. We're going to talk about some more important stuff. And until then, stay fly. All right, I got to go. Bye.
If you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Pyromedia Network's YouTube channel for more awesome content. Plus, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss when we go live or upload new videos. Visit pyromedianetwork.com today, not just to check out our incredible roster of talented creatives, but also to gain access to exclusive bonus material available only to our Pyro fam. Show your support for this Black-owned indie network by donating today. Help us keep igniting brands everywhere.